Hello and welcome to Happy Wine Guy TV. I am the Happy Wine Guy, and today, mysteriously enough, I'm joined by my friend Craig Adcock from Belly Up Barbecue and
HWGTV.com.
HWGTV.com.
Yes.
So, you might notice something a little different about today's episode. We are not in the Happy Wine Room.
No, beautiful spring.
We're on the Happy Wine Deck.
Utterly amazing spring, yes.
So welcome to the Happy Wine Deck here for our first outdoor wine tasting, our first white wine tasting.
Kind of a small deck.
Hey, I've been accused of that before. That's really not funny or appropriate.
Need to wax the deck.
Wax the bean. So let's get back on track here on topic. Today's message is about wine.
Perhaps I should walk up.
As I noted, we're having white wine out of the Happy Wine Guy signature white wine glasses. Yes, there's red, there's white. They're both available. What wine do we got today, Craig?
We have a very, very unique varietal. Vino Godello, and it's actually Godello from Spain, which is actually a super stellar, underpriced, amazingly white wine.
All right, we might say Vino Godeval, Godeval.
Or Vina,
But-
or yeah.
Godello, which is probably a grape you wouldn't run into. This is 100% of that varietal. It is a little unusual white grape from Spain, yet you should know this wine, especially with the hot weather coming. Probably wouldn't be drinking this wine if it wasn't for my friends Rich Zellick or Kevin Hodge, who first probably introduced that to me.
Perhaps Jorge Ordonez.
Oh, mi amigo Jorge Ordonez, who is actually the importer.
Yes.
And we could show you the logo. It's a very small logo, but if you see Jorge Ordonez on the back label of a wine, it's probably something you might want to try because they're a very, very solid importer. We've talked about Arab Solomon in the past and a couple others. So look at the color of this wine. A bit golden, somewhere in between golden and pale straw, which are a couple indicators that people sometimes say. And as you can see, I'm swirling the wine to help release its aromatics, let it spell all it can smell.
2007.
Thank you, Billy Up.
Yeah,
2007. I'm not sure if this is in your stores now. 2008 might be there already.
But I think this is going to age somewhat gracefully. I mean, I wouldn't sit on this for 4 or 5 years, but it may be kind of fun to see what happens.
This one would be fun.
Yeah.
It has a certain character or certain depth on the nose. The aromatics are rich. I think it's a good word, and that might indicate that it can hang on. Now, it's not high in alcohol, but you wouldn't think a lot of white wines are. This one is indicated at 13%, so is it 13.1, 13.0? We don't know. They just said 13. And now that I see that it's Pinnacle Imports, this would be a Rich Zillick wine.
Oh,
So thanks, Rich.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Good guy. One of the cork darts when he shows up.
Yeah.
So, getting anything on the nose of this one?
You know, I get a lot. This is one of my favorite, just kind of obscure wines. A lot of people don't know Godello. If you walk into your mom and pop liquor stores, you're not going to find it. You've got to do a little bit of research. And especially in the Spanish aisle, I think Spain is really kind of coming on. But with this wine, I get kind of a very relaxed, mature Sauv Blanc morphed with like a Chardonnay, stainless steel Chardonnay.
Yeah, and
With some arid characteristics.
right. And for you out there in internet land, it's kind of hard to compare this one. Somewhere in between Chardonnay and Sauv Blanc, I guess. But it really is its own thing. It's pretty rich and kind of thick, but still light tasting and great for hot weather. It's
almost like if you had an albino rhubarb. That's what I would expect here.
okay. I go
Without the cherry, without all the rhubarb characteristics, but not quite asparagus, but just it's really a beautiful, like maybe a white asparagus.
I almost get a little oily characteristic here. I mean, some of the more expensive Rieslings will be petrol. This isn't quite into smelling like diesel fuel, but it is a little oily, like a thicker Viognier. Mm-hmm. Yeah, let's try it out.
You know, I say like herbal, but it's not. It's kind of it has its own little characteristic.
It's a very unique wine.
Earlier when we were taste testing this, well, I guess we should probably go through the tasting notes first. Sorry.
It is it's lemony without being really tart. There's something exotic in the fruits that are coming through that I might not be able to nail down. Like I said, this is a unique wine. You probably should try it once in your lifetime.
A little bit of old world characteristic going on, some maturity.
Well, there is a little stony, wet stone kind of thing going on, which doesn't sound like something you want to drink. But if you can imagine you're standing by a brook or a river and the water is rushing through, and that smell of clean water rushing over rocks, wet rocks, stoniness. There's a little bit in this wine, which makes it really, really interesting.
I wouldn't call it zippy, but it's definitely not lazy.
And when he says that, he's kind of talking about the acid to fruit balance. It is not zippy, so it's not just real tart acidic. It has this nice little balance. Like I said, it's a little oily where it kind of works in the smoothness that matches these fruit flavors. They're still hard for me to pin down. Maybe a little bit of green apple, but something quite right. So
this makes me want to throw a fish on the grill. Maybe a nice tilapia, just very light. You can go old school, olive oil, salt, pepper. Just keep it very, very simple and let the flavors of the fish or whatever dish you're preparing and this play well.
This would work with the vegetable platter, with fish, as he said.
Maybe some olives.
Oh, that would be nice. But
Sardines.
what if we were to pair it with some cheese today?
Oh, that's true.
Put on a little nondescript cracker, because let the cheese do the talking.
Yeah. And the cheese, give a little shout out. It's from your homeland.
Yeah, hey, Derek, this happens to be from Wisconsin, you know.
Yeah, hey.
Oh, yeah, you bet you do. Like my friend Amy.
Amy.
Yeah, hey, you know her?
Yep, I still owe her some seasoning.
Oh, yeah, she's like works for Marathon Cheese Company there in the north, up in the North Country there, you know. So for sure, yeah, that she sent me some cheese. I really thank her for that. There.
And
so
the Gouda. And the Gouda is very good.
Oh, yeah, you know, we didn't really tell you that it's Gouda. Gouda, hey. So that's, that's Wisconsin for Gouda.
Oli Lena would like this. Maybe prawns? Prawns?
Sven.
Sven, that bastard.
Sven loves Gouda.
Forget about Sven. 1, 2, 3, Sven, 4.
Hello, Sven.
Hello, Sven.
Hey, you might have noticed this out here on the Happy Wine Deck. This is a wine chiller. You probably all should have one. It doesn't have to have this little famous waiter thing on it. It goes in your freezer, and it stays frozen, and then you just wrap it on the bottle. And it helps chill down a wine that maybe you have at room temperature, or this was in the Happy Wine Room, which is probably nicely 61. But I wanted a little cooler because it's 90 degrees out, even though the sun's not shining on the Happy Wine Deck.
We're going to have an Indian summer.
You should get one if you don't have one. I actually don't sell those, but I do sell these wine glasses. You know, with the Happy Wine Guy logo. We've got the white wine and the red wine ones. If you want some, just email me at hwg@happywineguy.com or look me up on Facebook, happywineguy.com. And you might even want to follow some of my blogs on, where am I, on Tumblr. Happy Wine Guy on Tumblr.
And you're also at a new place in a little small for your local peeps. You're doing a little moonlighting.
That's right.
On your unemployment.
If you're in the
your non-employment, retired.
Underemployment. I
What?
call it.
Okay, yeah.
If you're in the KC area, you might want to come out to Bottle 12 and pour some wine for you. Bottle 12 is on Facebook too, so friend us up. All right, Godello. I'll spell that out for you there. Great producer, interesting wine, very versatile, tasty, goes in hot weather. What more do you want to know about this wine?
Just try it. Try it for yourself. See what you think. If you're tired of that kind of crazy New Zealand Sauv Blanc, I mean, this is definitely a nice intermezzo.
Do you remember what the price point is on this?
It's cheap. I think it's like 13, 14 retail. So not too cheap.
Do you think that's cheap for white? I think it might be about 16, but give it a shot. Well, we'll put that up on where you can find it.
Yeah, that's true.
It's been great getting back into the Happy Wine Guy TV season, and so glad you tuned in. Until next time,
Wish
you were here.